Are we living at the end of time? Are we the worst kind of people living at the end of time? That's what I should say. Dear brothers and sisters, we have seen in the world. I want to give you some background before I say whether we are the worst of humankind living at the end of time or not. We have seen people are going naked, nude. The place I'm staying, they are actually encouraging people indirectly to go to the beach, take off their clothes, and go for swimming. They actually sent a message to me last night asking me, am I going to be going there? Well, this place is a hostel. I'm in Australia, but this is nothing new. It happens everywhere. Canada, US, you name it. Every place in the world, they have something that is severe in terms of fahisha and disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jal. You can also say the LGBTQ, this is the month. They are actually so proud. They're coming out. In fact, if you are not LGBT, if you are not supporting them, then you are the most evil, vile person on earth. You are a bigot. You cannot confront them. You cannot criticize them. You cannot talk against them. So as you can see, end of times phenomena, very much apocalyptic things are happening right here on the screen. If you are not part of the LGBT community today, you are not considered to be somebody who has love or who is not a racist. But when you become an LGBT member, they welcome you. Are we living at the end of time? Are we that worst kind of people where evil become good and good become evil? Let's talk about this a little bit more. I want to give you one more example. If you take a look at the world, what is happening right now, everywhere you go, in almost any country, there is some kind of aggression, oppression taking place. Take for example, India or Palestine or Iraq or any country, Syria. These countries, these lands are being violated. The sovereignty of these countries, no more. It is all taken. Oppression, you see people are not being fed. People are not getting jobs. Prices are going up. People are starving. Some of the families, they're actually selling their own children to make an end meet. So what is it that is driving them to do this kind of acts? It is because of oppression. We see anywhere in the world this phenomenon, this oppression and oppressive regimes, they are having very firm ground, a firm hold on their people. So are we living at the end of time? Are we the worst of humankind that was prophesied in the hadith? Rasulullah SAW said. Now this is why I want you to focus on this topic, because the hadith was very, very clear that min shirarin nas man tudrikumus sa'a wa hum ahya'un, that from the worst of people will be living at the end of time. Rasulullah SAW said that we believers, we should not desire, we should not wish to be among those people, all wish to live during the end of time because of the fitan, because of the temptation, because how evil people will become. Now let's take a look at what is happening right now, and this is my final point. This is why I wanted to make this video, really, subhanallah. Are we the worst of people? Are we living at the end of time before the coming of the Mahdi and the Dajjal and whatnot? So what is it that drove me to make this video, to make a commentary? What is the main point of this video? Dear brothers and sisters, as I mentioned, some of the evil, the vile stuff going on in this world, on our planet, I want to make mention of one particular incident that is really not being discussed as much, and that is that Muslim so-called imam and leaders, they are becoming very, very corrupt. Now you might say, well, this is nothing new, we see leaders are corrupt, but I'm not talking about those leaders who do not pray or who do not advocate for Islamic laws and values and principles to be established among people. I'm not talking about those leaders. The leader that I'm talking about is the one who leads people in prayer behind them, and yet they compromise with their faith, with their religion. Yesterday I was watching a video, a clip, where this person, he basically said, do not follow this particular leader, this particular imam. I'm not going to be mentioning the name because Subhanallah, none of us are perfect, but this person who is well known in the da'wah community, he basically said, do not follow that imam, even though, subhanallah, this imam has millions and millions and millions of views on YouTube, on their websites, on every platform they are in for the social media. Nevertheless, this person is again very well-known person to give da'wah. He said, do not follow this imam. Rasulullah SAW said that what I fear for my ummah, imamun mudallun, the imam who is misguided. Okay, this is what I fear for my ummah the most. These are the imam, these are the leaders who will take my ummah to the wrong path. Dear my sisters, if you take a look at the LGBT issue that I mentioned, and I actually made a video yesterday talking about how LGBTQ is entering into Saudi Arabia. We all know Saudi Arabia is a still very conservative country. Nevertheless, because if leaders are corrupt, people are corrupt, leaders at the community level, they're corrupt, then this is going to welcome all kind of fahsha evil, including LGBT, in their communities. And Muslim men and women, especially children, will grow up learning, knowing, and accepting these vile, immoral acts and justify those things as soon as they become a teenager, or maybe even earlier. What we can do, dear brothers and sisters, we need to create leaders. We need to create human beings, actually believers, who would be sticking to the Quran and Hadith, and not only that, they will also follow the Quran and Sunnah. It is not enough anymore, dear brothers and sisters, to promote our Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, our Aqidah. We need to also follow up with our own action and also see how people are doing, how much they have been able to implement those beliefs, those principles, those Islamic laws and values in their own life. So yes, we do have a global phenomenon where vile is prevailing, but at the same time we should not be losing hope, because we as believers, we will do things that are right. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran that let there arise a people from among you who will call people to ila khair, to good, and they will ask people to stay away from all kind of munkar. And Allah said these are the people who will be successful. So we need to stand up. We need to be that group of people that Allah said we uphold what is true and what is right. May Allah guide all of our hearts and keep us away from all kind of evil, and not make us of those people who will be the worst of mankind living at the end of time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.